What if the most powerful step in creating your reality isn't about doing more, but about finally doing less? About stepping into a profound, peaceful knowing that the work is already done. I invite you to step into the quietest, most powerful dimension of the law, the rest that follows identity. This isn't the rest of passivity or surrendering to fate, but the sacred stillness of one who truly knows the work is finished. It's the understanding that nothing needs to be earned, nothing forced, nothing proven. When you live from identity, action becomes expression, not exertion. This is the art of effortless becoming. But I say to you, that very trying is resistance. It is a declaration that you are not yet who you say you are. The fulfilled self does not try. The fulfilled self simply lives. And it is in this silent knowing that the law performs its perfect work. Rest is not waiting. Waiting implies separation. Rest is knowing. It is the Sabbath of consciousness, the seventh day when nothing is added or taken away. All is declared good. All is complete. So let us now explore what it truly means to rest in identity. First, we must understand that identity is not constructed. It is revealed. You are not becoming a new self. You are uncovering what has always been true in imagination. Your highest self is not a future achievement. It is a present reality. When you stop seeking to become and instead live as the one who already is, you move into harmony with the eternal present. From this space, creation flows not by effort, but by resonance. Let me illustrate. Imagine a musician improvising at the piano. She does not stop to calculate every note. She rests in the knowledge that the music is already within her. Her hands follow the impulse, and harmony unfolds. So too must you rest in your identity until your life becomes improvisation from fulfillment. This is what Scripture means when it says, "Be still and know that I am God." The stillness is not stagnation. It is unwavering alignment with truth. In that stillness, you discover the identity behind the desire. Not one who hopes, but one who is. Let us now make this practical. Begin each day not by asking what to do, but who to be. Identity precedes action. When you anchor yourself in being, your actions become inevitable. They arise not from obligation, but from inspiration. Ask yourself, who am I today? Who am I now that it is done? Then allow your choices, tone, pace, and posture to reflect that. If you assume the identity of one who is healed, then live as one who no longer checks for symptoms. If you are wealthy, cease rehearsing scarcity. If you are in love, stop fearing loss. You cannot serve two identities. You cannot say, I am, and I hope to be in the same breath. Choose one, rest in it. Here is where most falter. They attempt to mix states. They say, I am abundant, but live as if resources are tight. They say, I am loved, but act from rejection. The law is not fooled by word. It responds to the vibration of identity. Your world echoes who you are being. And so I ask you, are you resting in your new identity? Or are you still visiting it on occasion? Perhaps during a visualization or in prayer, but abandoning it in the day-to-day. True rest means continuity. It means being so deeply identified with your fulfilled self that anything else feels foreign. You do not return to old states because they are no longer home. You will know you are resting in identity when effort fades, when peace replaces striving, when gratitude arises spontaneous. Not because something has changed, but because you have. And when you rest, truly rest, the law activates. Bridges of incidents unfold, synchronicities multiply, but they are not surprising. You greet them with calm recognition, of course. This is natural. This is who I am. Let me offer a technique, the Identity Sabbath. Once a day, take 10 minutes to do nothing, except dwell in your chosen identity. Not visualizing a scene, not repeating affirmations, simply be. Let yourself feel the naturalness of having. Let the relief of fulfillment wash over you. No words, no effort, just being. And if the mind wanders, gently return. Not to trying, but to resting, to the sense of already being, like a king or queen who sits on the throne, not to command, but because it is their place. This practice is not glamorous, it is not thrilling, but it is potent. It anchors you in truth, and truth, when held long enough, must harden into fact. Many ask, Neville, how long must I assume? How many times must I repeat it? And I answer, until it becomes unnecessary. Until it becomes you, not a state you enter, but a self you inhabit. Resting in identity is the final step, the last surrender. It is the moment you no longer chase results, because you already are the one who has. It is not laziness, it is supreme authority. The one who rests knows the law, knows that the outer world cannot contradict the inner state for long, and so he walks through life with calm dominion. Now let us touch on one final truth. Rest is magnetic. The world flows to the one who no longer reaches. This is the mystery behind grace. When you rest in your highest identity, the world conforms, not because you demanded it, but because you remembered who you are. You are not here to force change. You are here to remember truth. You are not here to make something happen. You are here to let what is already true express itself through you. This is the effortless becoming. This is the rest that follows identity. So, tonight, be still. Let striving fall away. Let trying dissolve, and simply be who you truly are. We move deeper still, not into what to do, but into who to be. You've heard me say, live in the end. You've heard me say, assume the wish fulfilled. But now I tell you, go beyond the desire and into the being behind it. Let us now explore the divine alchemy of self-concept, for that is the true soil from which your world grows. Desire is never random. It is always a revelation of your potential self. It shows you what you are meant to become, not what you must chase, but what you must awaken within. Every longing is a seed, and that seed contains a version of you who already is what you seek. So, tonight, I ask you to shift your gaze. Do not stare longingly at the object of desire. Turn your attention to the self that has it. Who is he? Who is she? How do they feel? How do they move through the world? You see, the world responds not to what you want, but to who you are. And who you are is determined by your concept of self. Concept is the master key. The law operates automatically according to the assumptions you hold about. If you believe you are always striving, you will always strive. If you believe things take time, time will be your master. But if you shift your self-concept to the one who already has, already is, already knows, then your world must reflect. Now hear this, you are not changing the world, you are changing yourself. And as your concept of self evolves, the world adjusts. It has no choice, it is a mirror, a faithful witness of your inner state. Let me offer you something radical. Stop trying to manifest. Start becoming the version of you who doesn't need to. What does that look like? It looks like alignment. When your inner conversations, your choices, your reactions, your posture all agree with your new identity, manifestation becomes effort. Not because it is forced, but because it is natural. Let's say your desire is for love. Most try to attract love, but the one who is loved does not attract it. They emanate it. They live it, and the world, reflecting that radiance, brings more of the same. So begin where it matters, within. Reconstruct your identity, not by affirming what you want to be, but by surrendering what you're not. Drop the roles of victim, struggler, seeker. Assume the role of the one who already knows it is done. This is not performance, this is essence. Now let us examine how self-concept is formed. It is built through repetition, of thought, of emotion, of imagination. You are always affirming something. You are always declaring what is true of you, even if unconsciously. The law simply takes those declarations and gives them flesh. So tonight, become deliberate. Ask yourself, what am I declaring about myself today? Do your reactions reflect someone who is secure or someone still doubt? Do your conversations reveal a self who lives in fulfillment or one still yearning? Do your habits match the life you say you desire or the life you secretly expect? These are not judgments. They are invitations to recalibrate, to step more fully into the embodiment of the self you truly are. Now let me give you a sacred practice, the mirror technique. Each day, stand before a mirror, not to judge your appearance, but to commune yourself. Look into your own eyes. Speak not as who you've been, but as who you choose to be. Declare your identity. I am loved. I am successful. I am radiant. I am free. Do not say these as if trying to convince. Say them because they are true. Not in the outer yet, but in the inner. And the inner always births the outer. Do this daily, not with effort, but with devotion. Not as a technique, but as remembrance. You are not creating a new self. You are remembering the eternal one. Let us also dismantle the notion of time, for time is the servant of the self-concept. When you say, it's on its way, you delay it. But when you say, it is who I am, you collapse time. You bring the future into now. Creation is finished. The self you seek already exists in imagination. Your only task is to align with it. Now what about action? Many say, Neville, should I still act? And I say, of course. But let it be inspired, not initiated from lack. The self who knows does not act to make it happen. They act because it is already happening. Action then becomes expression, not effort. You are not climbing to your desire. You are living from it. Here's a paradox. The more you try to become, the more you delay being. The more you wait for evidence, the more you affirm absent. So stop looking for signs. You are the sign. Let every breath, every thought, every moment reflect your new self-concept. Be ruthless in discarding what no longer matches. Be gentle in returning when you forget. You do not need to be perfect. You need only to be faithful. Faithful to the new state. Faithful to the self who is already complete. And when the world tries to contradict you, when appearances suggest otherwise, do not react. Smile gently. Return within. Speak again your truth. And wait not with anxiety, but with confidence. For what you have assumed, you must become. And what you become, the world must reveal. So tonight, don't ask for change. Become the change. Don't reach for the desire. Become the one who has it. Don't fix the mirror. Change the face it reflects. This is the true alchemy, not of gold, but of identity, the transmutation of self. You are the creator, the created, and the creation. You are the cause and the fulfillment. You are the law. There is a space beyond assumption, beyond feeling it real, a sacred space where you no longer oscillate between faith and doubt. It is the realm of knowing. Tonight I will lead you into this deeper chamber of consciousness, where you do not wait, do not seek, do not question, but simply are. You see, when you truly live from the end, there comes a point when you no longer care whether it has appeared in form. Not because you've stopped desiring it, but because you know that it is already done. This knowing is not arrogant. It is not delusion. It is the quiet confidence of one who understands the law. Knowing is the final seal of assumption. It is the moment you cease checking, cease measuring, cease needing. If you become like a mountain, unmoved by wind or weather. You stand still in your fulfilled state and let the world adjust itself around you. This, my friends, is not passivity. It is not indifference. It is the supreme power of the one who creates by consciousness alone. Think of the farmer who plants his seed. He does not return every hour to ask, is it growing? He trusts the soil. He knows the seed must transform beneath the surface before it rises into form. So too must you trust the soil of your subconscious. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and rest in that assumption, the transformation begins invisibly. The law operates perfectly. Your only task is to maintain the inner reality. The world will catch up. This is the concept we now expand. How to live in such perfect certainty that the outer manifestation becomes irrelevant. It is inevitable, yes, but it no longer defines your peace. Let me now speak of the space between states. For some of you, the challenge lies in the transition from the state of wanting to the state of having. You feel the new identity for a time, but old habits whisper, old emotions rise. This is natural, but you must persist in your new self until it becomes your home. Here is where the power of stillness becomes your greatest ally. When you are still, not merely in body, but in consciousness, you create no resistance. The old self begins to fall away, not through force, but through disuse. You must become uninterested in the old man. His worries, his strategies, his limitations, they are not yours anymore. You have moved houses. You do not redecorate the place you've left behind. You invest in the new. You dress it, furnish it, live in it. To live in the end means that you no longer speak from memory, but from identity. You do not say, I will be healed. You say, I am healed. You do not say, I hope to be wealthy. You say, wealth is my natural state. But this language is not for others. It is for you. It is the inner dialogue that reshapes your world. And so I ask you tonight, what is your dominant conversation with yourself? Is it affirming your new state or rehearsing the old? Let us now bring structure to this practice. Begin each morning, not by planning what you'll do, but by establishing who you are. Let your first thoughts be saturated in your chosen identity. If you are living from success, then begin the day as the successful one. Feel into it before you rise from bed. Let that consciousness become the foundation of your actions. Throughout the day, when the old world calls, through email, bills, voices, conditions, do not argue with it. Do not fight. Instead, quietly return to your state. Remember, you are not here to fix appearances. You are here to remain faithful to the unseen. This faithfulness is the sign of mastery. Not in results, but in residence. Where are you dwelling? At night, let your return to sleep be a return to the end. Reassume the fulfilled state. Don't revise the day with regret. Revise it with truth. Rewrite every moment as the person you have claimed to be. Then fall asleep as that self. This is not ritual. This is rhythm. The rhythm of creation. Let me now speak to those who say, but nothing has changed. I say to you, everything has changed. The moment you assume, you move dimensions. Your outer world may not have caught up yet, but the seed is already planted. It is becoming, just as the sun continues to rise beyond the clouds. So your manifestation is already rising beyond the veil of time. Your only task is to not disbelieve what you've already accepted. Doubt reverts you. Certainty advances you. Not because certainty forces the outcome, but because certainty refuses to leave the state. You see, the law does not require effort. It requires fidelity. You must be loyal not to the facts, but to the truth. The truth that what you have assumed is already yours. The world will test this, not to punish you, but to confirm your resolve. Will you remain in the new identity when your senses scream otherwise? Will you choose to believe your imagination over your eyesight? This is the crucible of transformation. Now let us refine your practice further. Let the world become background noise. Withdraw the power of your attention from what is and reinvest it into what is true in imagination. Speak to yourself as the person you are becoming, not as the one you've been. Let your inner conversations become declarations of fact. No longer say, I want. Say, I am. No longer say, one day. Say, today, in consciousness. No longer ask, when will it come? Say, it is already done. You do not convince yourself, you reveal to yourself. The truth has always been present. You have simply looked away. When you stop trying to make it happen, you allow it to happen. When you stop measuring results, you start magnifying identity. And the world must bow to identity. So, tonight, I ask you, will you persist? Will you stop looking out and begin looking within, again and again, until it becomes natural? Because I tell you, the one who assumes and does not waver will see it. But more importantly, he will become it. And when you become it, the need to see it dissolves. Live there, dwell there, speak from there, and let the world catch up. Tonight, let us move beyond conceptual understanding and into the lived experience of assumption. Not merely thinking about having, not visualizing to get, but becoming the embodiment of what you desire. You see, my friends, the law of assumption only bears fruit when it becomes not something you do, but something you are. Most approach this teaching like a tool to fix life, as if the outer world were broken and must be mended by effortful thought. But that is not the law. The law is not here to help you fix the outer. It is here to reveal that the outer is the mirror. Change the inner and the mirror must change. So tonight, I urge you to step beyond the attempt to make manifestation happen and step into the dimension where it is already done. Not done tomorrow, not done in process, done now within you. To live in the end is to live from the knowing that nothing needs to be added. The assumption is not the prelude to fulfillment. It is fulfillment itself. When you say I am, you are planting the seed. But when you feel I am, you are watering that seed with certainty. Let us consider what it means to fully embody the state of the wish fulfilled. It means becoming congruent. Your thoughts, your emotions, your imagination, your posture, your choices, everything aligns with the reality of already having. This is not pretend, it is not delusion, it is divine remembrance. You do not try to fake it until you make it. That is still effort, that is still the confession of absence. No, you enter the state with naturalness, with ease, like slipping into a warm bath, like returning to a home you've always known. Let me now give you something practical, because this law, though mystical, is always practical. Begin by choosing the state you wish to live from. Perhaps it is health. Perhaps it is abundance. Perhaps it is love. Now, don't think of having it. Ask instead, who am I in that state? What does my day feel like? How do I carry myself? What assumptions do I hold without effort? Let us say your desire is abundance. You must now assume the self who lives in abundance, not just financially, but emotionally, relationally, spiritually. The abundant self doesn't wonder if there is enough. They live in the knowing of overflow. They don't seek, they share. They don't hustle, they flow. From this state, your choices begin to change. You no longer act to get something. You act as the expression of who you already are. If you are abundant, your decisions reflect security. If you are loved, your relationships reflect wholeness. This is embodiment, but the moment you slip into asking, when will it come? You have exited the state. That is not a sin. It is not failure. It is simply your opportunity to return. You do not need to fight the question. You do not need to battle the doubt. Just re-enter the state. You see, the great secret is this. The state of the wish fulfilled is always available. It exists now, in the eternal present. It is not hidden, not distant. It only requires your willingness to let go of trying and to dwell in being. Let us speak now of permanence. Many of you touch the state. You feel the relief, the joy, the alignment, but then the old world speaks. Bills come in, conflicts arise. The senses declare the opposite, and so you exit the state. You become the old man once more. But I tell you, you must not let the facts dictate your fate. You must let your faith dictate your fact. What you are conscious of being will outpicture itself, but it must be held, not rigidly, not with strain, but with the certainty of one who knows the seed is planted. Imagine a sculptor chiseling away at stone. He doesn't panic that the form is not yet visible. He knows it is there, within. So too with you. You must chisel away every thought, every word, every act that does not reflect your assumed identity. This is why I say, make no room for contradiction. Do not entertain doubt, not because it is evil, but because it is unproductive. The moment you make a case for why it hasn't happened yet, you return to the state of wanting. And wanting never manifests, only having does. Let me give you a powerful technique. I call it the identity recall. Throughout the day, pause and ask, whom am I right now? Not who do I want to be, but who am I being? This question reveals the state you're in. If you're in worry, you are not in fulfillment. If you're in fear, you are not in love. And so, rather than chastise yourself, gently recall, re-enter the end. Let this become your new habit, to return, to remember, to identify. Not just once in meditation, but again and again until the state becomes permanent. Eventually, the state stabilizes. It becomes your natural dwelling, and the world must bow to your new identity. People shift, circumstances rearrange, doors open, but more than that, you change. Not because you force change, but because you stopped pretending to be someone you're not. You are not the one who wants. You are the one who has. And when you live from that inner truth, your outer world must conform. This, my dear friends, is not wishful thinking. It is the law. As we close tonight, remember, you are not here to become, you are here to remember. You are not here to try, you are here to be. Live not from the hunger of desire, but from the satisfaction of its fulfillment. For what you accept within must be reflected without. So assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not once, but until it becomes who you are. And God bless you.